Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Empowering Minds Mental Health Podcast. And today I am joined by Lilac Colandra, and we're just going to have an open conversation around boundaries, mental health, self-care, and breaking the stigmas around therapy. So, to start us off, Lilac, can you share a little bit about who you are, what you do, and what led you to focusing on mental health, boundaries, and self-care?
Yeah. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to just jump into this conversation, especially with it being Mental Health Awareness Month. Like I feel like these conversations really resound
Mhm,
and ring true. So yes, as you said, I'm Lila Calandra, and I'm a marriage and family therapist and a mindfulness life coach. I became a therapist around between 2017 and 2020. I did my schooling. And then
mhm,
during the pandemic, like 2020, I had to do mindfulness life coaching for myself first because there were
mm,
so many emotions and feelings going on, and I needed something to ground myself. Then that's what I made into my coaching business. That's what I made into saying, oh, if this works on me, then it can also work on others. So that's what I do. I love to teach people how to breathe, visualizations about mindsets, affirmations, really changing our speech toward ourselves, toward others, and all
mhm,
that. What got me into mental health and all things wellness? My family, you know what I mean? Like my
mhm,
family, I came from a divorced household. My parents got divorced when I was 11, going on 12. And I had to understand why certain things were going on. I've always been a listening ear to people. Strangers would come up to me and say, I've never told anyone this before, but I feel comfortable talking to you about it. So when I started noticing that and how I feel about psychology and the mind, I said, let me get into this field. Let me get the
mhm,
credentials, let me get the schooling and all that. And that's how I landed there. And I love it. And I was born and raised in the church. So I really noticed
mhm.
that people in the church need a lot of mental help, just in general, you know what I mean? And they're the
Yes.
main ones who say, "Oh, we don't need it." That's
Yep.
what led me into it as well. I have the clientele of the church, helping them navigate that within that
Mhm.
spiritual realm.
Wow. Okay. That really resonates with me because we actually have that in common.
Hmm.
Um, Growing up, that was you kind of didn't talk about mental health, at least not
Mm-mm.
in my era, you didn't. And I
No,
remember, yeah, I remember hearing the elders in the community, they would say, well, we're gonna go tell, Pastor Jones to pray for, you know, this child. And that's where they kind of left it at instead of, maybe reaching out to some resources. But I think at that time, maybe they just didn't know. And it's sad that it's still kind of like that today in 2026. And so I
it
also like
is.
it really is. I like what you said about why you went into the mental um the coaching part of it. Basically what you were saying is I had to take care of myself first. That's so good because you can't pour into people if things are going on or broken within yourself. So when you give your
You
best self,
can't.
it's because you've healed in some areas so you can help others. So I do like that.
Yeah, and especially us as Black women, right? We
Hmm.
have been trained and taught to pour from an empty cup. We have been trained to
Yes.
bypass our boundaries. We have been
Hmm.
trained to abandon ourselves. We have been
Yep.
trained in the church, in our homes, in our families, amongst our friend groups, in the world. Everybody
Hmm.
knows that if you need something fixed, who do you call? A Black woman. You immediately. So we've been trained to say, oh, okay, let me just take on everything. And I'm like, wait a minute. I don't want to do that anymore because when
Hmm.
you're burnt out, you're done and you're no good to anyone.
That's right. It's not a good feeling. And so I like that you brought up the word boundaries. So
Hmm.
when you think about boundaries, what are some signs that a person's boundaries might be off, even if they don't even realize it?
Sure. Like, oh man, I really love speaking about boundaries. So we have to learn how to listen to the cues of our bodies.
Mhm.
If we are breaking our own personal boundaries, our bodies, our minds, our spirit will let us know. Dr. Moore, like if you're doing something and you feel uncomfortable about it, but you're
Mhm.
still gonna do it, you're abandoning your boundary. Your boundary is not, it's not about not being firm. Your boundary is not even up. You have
Mm-hmm.
lowered the fence. You have turned off all the safety nets. So you
Mm-hmm.
will be able to know if you feel uncomfortable. And I don't mean like in a spoiled way, like, I'm entitled, I don't want to do that. No, you know that this is pushing you past the limit of your comfortability. You're spending too much. You're giving too much of your energy.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing too much and you're not getting it back. It's not reciprocal. You know, you feel that little pit. We have to have our discernment up. You know, you feel that little, I don't want to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway because I was
Mm-hmm.
trained to not acknowledge my own boundaries. So that's how you know. You know, and listeners, you know you're feeling it now. You might feel a little guilty, like, ugh, you know you feel it now. Like I know I have felt it. We have trained ourselves to ignore our own alarm system. It's like someone
Mm-hmm.
breaking into your house and the alarm is blaring and you're like, oh, no, it's fine, nothing's going on. Boundaries are an alarm system for us. Don't
Mm-hmm.
bypass that. Don't just click it off. Why do I feel uncomfortable about that? This is something I don't need to be doing right now.
I I want to go on public record for everyone to know that I did not know you prior to this recording, but you were just
No,
talking
we
about
don't know each
I
other.
used to
This is
break
our
my
first time meeting.
I used to break my own boundaries
Ooh,
every so much, and every single time I ended up like either very overwhelmed or just felt
yep.
like my mind was racing, and I did it so much that I really did. It led to a serious case of burnout. I
Yes.
had to. I was dehydrated. I stayed in the hospital for almost 2 weeks. I'm
Yep.
dehydrated, labs all over everywhere.
Yep.
That's not a place. That's not a
Mm-hmm.
place you want to go. I'm being honest. So
No,
yeah,
no, it's
definitely
not.
stay within your boundaries.
You stay within your boundaries because, right, I thank you for bringing up that physical aspect. You will find yourself
Hmm.
sick. You will find yourself
Yep.
just not feeling well. You will find yourself literally feeling uncomfortable in your mind, your body, and your spirit.
Hmm.
Boundaries don't protect us from others. That's what I always like to say. It's not, boundaries don't keep things out. It's not necessarily a fence to protect it's to protect what's inside. That's how
Hmm.
I switched my thinking on it. Because I used to think that boundaries were just to keep people out, protect myself from the outside person. No, boundaries protect the treasure that's inside. Boundaries protect us. So when we change our thought about that, are you going to stop yourself from protecting yourself? Most people will say, "Oh, okay. If I'm not trying to keep people out, I want to protect myself. Maybe I will honor this boundary because I'm protecting myself. I'm not trying to push
Hmm.
anyone out. I'm not trying to keep you out because boundaries let people know that I care for you so much. Let's say I gave you a boundary, Dr. Moore. I care for you so much that I'm trying to save this relationship. I'm trying to
Hmm.
maintain this relationship. We shouldn't be offended by other people's boundaries. Their boundaries are love. I'm saying you're doing something that's making me uncomfortable. I want to stay in contact with you. This is a boundary that I'm putting up so that we're both protected in this situation. Should you not honor this boundary, you're letting me know you don't want to be in contact with me anymore. You're letting me know you don't want a relationship with me anymore. You're letting
Hmm.
me know that you're good on this. That's people who ignore boundaries, that's what they say. I'm good on you. I'm good on this relationship. Because those who love you will honor your boundaries.
That is true. I really like that concept when you said about how you changed your way of thinking because I always
Mm-hmm.
looked at boundaries too as like protecting as in out. So thank you
Nope.
for that. That just changed my perspective on
Yeah.
boundaries. Yeah. Now it's
Mm-hmm.
something else for me, and it may happen to others too. I used to kind of feel guilty about setting boundaries. And so,
Absolutely.
again, there are a lot of people that feel guilty when they start setting boundaries. So, why do you
Hmm.
think that is, and how can they begin to work through that?
Such a great question. I love that one because guilt is something that really makes or breaks us. You know,
Mm-hmm.
guilt comes from when you've been shamed into something or you feel like, man, this is something that I just have to do. So let's say you grew up in a family where your opinions didn't matter. It didn't matter if you felt uncomfortable with something or anyone or
Mm-hmm.
anything. You had to do it. Your family pushed you to do it. That is you being trained to abandon your boundaries. So when you actually
Mm-hmm.
start putting up your boundaries, the guilt is automatic. oh, this is going against everything I've been trained to do. Guilt says, wait a minute, you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing. Now, isn't
Mm-hmm.
that a shame? We've been so trained not to honor our boundaries that when we have boundaries, the guilt says, whoa, you're acting outside of the norm. That's what
Mm-hmm.
guilt is. Now, people will feel guilt. The thing about it is, don't let the guilt stop you. You're going to feel guilty when putting up your boundaries. You're going to feel mean. You're going to feel like the
Mm-hmm.
villain. You're going to feel evil. You're going to feel just like you are a nasty person. Feel
Mm-hmm.
all of that, but still keep your boundary. Feel all of the guilt. Feel all of the shame. Feel all of the bad feeling. Don't let that boundary down. Guilt's going to be
Mm-hmm.
there. Feelings are fleeting. You're going to feel it. It's going to pass by. And the more we enforce our boundaries, the more we're able to deal with that guilt. You know what I mean? When we're trained
Mm-hmm.
not to honor ourselves, when we're trained to abandon ourselves, that guilt will say, "Whoa, what's going on? That's your family. That's your best friend.
Mm-hmm.
That's your brother. That's your sister. That's your husband. That's your wife. That's your partner. That's your spouse." Mm-mm. We can feel the
Mm-hmm.
guilt and navigate right through it so that we still honor our boundaries. I had to deal with that too. I felt very
Mm-hmm.
guilty when I started putting up boundaries. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
the guilt almost crushes you. It
Yep.
weighs on your chest like an elephant, you know?
Mm-hmm.
The more I kept my boundaries up, the less I started feeling that guilt. So the real goal is to keep pushing through the guilt.
Okay. This is very encouraging because
Mm,
I still deal with that part
mm,
just a little bit. I'm pretty sure it's
mm-hmm.
somebody else too. The feeling, it's like the guilty or the emotions I kind of go
Yep,
through with setting a boundary
yep.
because the boundary is with someone I feel very close or we have some type
I
of
know.
connection or attachment.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
it bothers me. So in the past, what I did was I would say, well, no, I'm not doing such and such, or no, I can't help you. And the next day I'd be like, well, you know what, I'll help you with such and such. I broke my own boundary. And then I ended up being tired and frustrated.
And mad at
And
yourself, you know?
yep,
You
yeah.
get mad at yourself because it's
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, I try to put up a boundary. And it's not even like the person is breaking the boundary. It's us breaking our own
That's
boundaries.
right.
It's us abandoning our own self. And I
Mm-hmm.
want to say this, we will most likely feel guilty about having boundaries for the rest of our lives. It's
Yep.
not a feeling that ever goes away.
Mm-hmm.
You just learn to deal with it. You just learn to feel the guilt, pause, reflect on it, acknowledge it, and say, I'm still keeping this boundary up. I feel the
Yep, that's
shame.
right.
I feel the guilt. I feel the uncomfortability. I feel bad. Oh, I feel so bad when it's my mom, when it's my sister, when it's anybody that I have an intimate relationship with.
Mm-hmm.
However, if the boundary is to protect me, I have to protect myself because everybody has to work on protecting themselves. And again,
That's right.
if your family loves you, if people love you, your friends, whoever, they will honor your boundaries. They won't shun your boundaries and they won't make you break them. They'll say, I hear you, I understand you, I'm going to honor this.
Mm-hmm. That's true. All
Mm,
right. So we kind of, in a way, kind of leading towards stigmas because
yeah.
again, there's stigmas around um
Hmm.
therapy, there's stigmas around boundary, just stigmas around mental health in general.
Right.
So, what do you think is still holding people back from seeking support, especially in communities where it's not openly talked about, like what we talked about in the beginning, growing up in our childhood, you know, just it wasn't talked about.
Yeah. I mean, so the stigma is still very much there. I think it has lessened
Mm-hmm.
some. I think the pandemic really helped to cut some of that stigma down because people started realizing just how,
Yep.
hey, we needed help, just how
Yeah.
much people were not doing well mentally. So I think
Yep.
that stigma was able to be cut down in that way. But it is just what we talked about. Religion creates a big stigma. Fear and lack of
Mm-hmm.
understanding create a big stigma. We fear what we don't know. So if it's something unknown, we fear it. And religion will say, all you need to do is pray about this and talk to
Mm-hmm.
God about this. And prayer is wonderful. Oh, it's beautiful. Having the connection with God and Creator and being able to have that relationship and being spiritual, it's wonderful. Also, you can see a therapist and also you can talk to someone who is trained to carry what you're dealing with, right? So that stigma comes from that fear, that stigma comes from religion that says, I've heard that people who go to therapy or seek out therapy, it's like a disrespect to God. That's a lot of people's mindset too. Like,
Mm-hmm.
because, oh, he's big enough to handle everything. And he is. However, he
Yeah.
gives us tools to
Right.
navigate through life. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So again, we fear we don't know too. So if I don't know what's gonna happen, if I'm afraid of this thing, I'm gonna demonize it. Oh, I'm about to tear this reputation to shreds. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what's this therapy thing. And the last thing I'll say about it is too, just from what I've seen, people think that, oh, if you have to go to therapy, then you're crazy. You're
Uh,
laying on someone's couch already crazy. Actually, you should go to therapy so you don't lose your mind. So you don't,
Absolutely.
you know what I mean? It's
Mm-hmm.
maintenance. We go to the
Yes.
dentist. We go to our PCP, our primary care physician. We
Mm-hmm.
go to the orthopedist. We go to the all these things, podiatrists. We go everywhere about our whole bodies. We forget to go
Yep.
and take care of our mind. It should be in the same circle, in the same vein.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I encourage people, and I say that all the time, the same way you take
Yeah,
care of your your mental health, I mean your physical health, look at it in the same aspect and take care of your mental health. Typically, if you're given medicine for blood pressure, for the most part, you're going to take it,
you're
But
going to
if you
take
may
it.
need medication for mental health, you I hope that you would take it if
No,
you need
people,
it.
people
So
just
I
pray.
just try to encourage people to do that. You got to take care of
Yeah,
your whole body. It's all connected.
your your whole it's all connected. And
Yeah.
just when you were speaking, I was thinking like people go get their nails done, you get a manicure or pedicure, you maintain that, you go get your hair done, you go take care of your face,
Yes.
you know what I mean? You go see your skincare, you go this, people do
Hmm.
Botox and all this. We're taking care of the external, but it's like here is everything. And that's what I first started saying when I really was getting into it. I'm like, you could be the CEO of a Fortune 500 company, but if your mind is
Hmm.
not right, you will be out of that job immediately. How many people have
Yep.
lost their entire
Hmm.
careers because they had a mental break or
Yes.
they snapped or they couldn't? And you really never get another chance with that. So
Right.
from the top to the bottom, we need to be focused on this first, and that leads everything else.
Hmm. Yep. I've worked in mental health for about 20, I think maybe 21, 22 years, somewhere. I lost
Hmm.
count in there. But I surprise people when I talk about, a therapist, life coach, and they're like, "You have a therapist and a life coach?" Yeah, I have
I
to.
better.
With yes, with your caseload and things that I see, and then there's sometimes those situations where there really isn't anything that I can do to help because I love to help people. Those things bother me. So I was like, yeah, I sure do. I used to
I-
do it just once a month, but it got to be so much. I was like, you know what? I think I need to do this bi-weekly. But I think it's just a
yeah,
healthy thing because, and I also share with people with going to see a therapist or life coach doesn't necessarily mean that you may have a diagnosis. I know people that go to
right.
therapy to learn coping skills so that they can stop being so overwhelmed with life, their
Yep,
job, things like that. So
absolutely.
it's very therapeutic. It really is. It's a good thing to get
And we
into.
need it.
Hmm.
Like, just like what you're saying, if you are a therapist or a life coach, you must have a therapist or a life
Hey,
coach because
yeah.
because then we're not taking our own medicine. We're telling people that this works, whatever
Yeah.
modality we're using. My favorite modality to use is client-centered focus, right? Because I
Hmm.
believe everyone is the expert on their own lives. Like
Hmm.
the best version of yourself. I'm just here to stir it up, right? I'm just here to say
That's
you got
it.
it all inside of you. If we're telling people that, and if I'm life coaching and I'm saying, oh, this, and then I don't go and get a life coach and a therapist,
Yep.
it's a disservice to our clients and
Mhm.
it's a disservice to ourselves. I'm also ordained, right, to preach. Every pastor needs a pastor
That's true. Yep.
because then we're rogue. We're rogue without that. I'm telling you, go to therapy, but I'm not going to therapy. I'm
Yeah.
I'm we are the partakers of the medicine first. We know, we see how it does. We see any side effects. You know what I mean? It
Mm-hmm.
happens. We navigate through these challenges first, and then we're able to help other people get out of it. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we need any therapist or life coaches watching, go get you a therapist, go get you a life coach.
Yeah. Seriously. That is good. I love the way you put that together. That is good. Yeah, you're right. Pastors need pastors too. And so all of that kind of ties into self-care. And as I got older and wiser, this is how I used to look at self-care. It had to be like going out of town somewhere. It had to be
Extravagant.
something monetary, you know. And the older I got, I was like, self-care for me could be resting, and because I love to watch old shows. I was like,
Hmm.
or going to Walmart and spending what $5 on a bag of Epsom salt, you can soak your feet. So with self-care, it's something that we hear about all the time, but sometimes it can feel like a little bit surface level. So
Hmm.
what does real meaningful self-care actually look like in everyday life?
Such a good question. And thank you for saying that. Like, I think we believe that self-care has to be like some extravagant trip to
Yep.
Hawaii or
Mm-hmm.
Bali, Tokyo, Taiwan, all these places. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like, it actually doesn't. You know what I mean? Self-care, I'll say this, self-care is not selfish. Self-care
It's
is
not.
us making sure that we are maintaining ourselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
We take care of everyone else. We give to everyone else. Self-care allows us to pour back into our own cups. And
Mm-hmm.
practically in everyday life, that just what you said, going to Walmart, getting that Epsom salt. I thought you were going to say going to Walmart and maybe walking around because that is also self-care. Even if you
It
don't
is.
purchase anything, just walking around Walmart, just walking around the mall, just walking around, allowing yourself, self-care allows you to have a break from your normal daily things
Yes.
and you're
Mm-hmm.
just able to kind of separate from what you usually do, take that
Mm-hmm.
breath, relax your mind. It forces your mind to go in a different direction. Let's say
Yes.
you're thinking about something, ruminating on something over and over and over again. Maybe you just had a fight with someone. Maybe you just heard some terrible news. You need that break in your
Mm-hmm.
mind so that your mind can breathe, so that you can breathe. You can say, okay, then I can just pick this back up and come back to it. Self-care is
Yep.
a cup of tea. Self-care is right. Watching those
Yes.
old shows. I'm a big Martin fan. My self-care looks like
Yes.
watching Martin on Netflix. What are we talking
Mm-hmm.
like that costs me nothing. Like, you know what I mean? That doesn't cost anything at all.
Mm-hmm.
Self-care is allowing yourself to take the rest that you need. I'm also a colorer, the adult coloring books. I love to
Oh
color.
yeah.
Great self-care. It forces my mind off of what I'm doing from my job, from whatever, family, life,
Mm-hmm.
children, whatever. I'm forced to take that break. Self-care allows
Mm-hmm.
us to slow down. And if it is something extravagant, do it. It's great. But we get turned off from self-care because we think we have to shell out a lot of money.
Yep.
And we really don't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Self-care is really big in my life. And I also encourage
Mm,
others, listen, self-care is not when you feel overwhelmed or you're starting to feel overwhelmed. Because that's how I used
thank
to think.
you.
So now
Yes.
I'm mindful. I do something every day. If the weather is nice and
Yes.
it's not too hot, I may walk
Yep.
around in my neighborhood 10, 15,
Sure.
20 minutes, whatever.
Sure.
Um, Again, a cup of tea. Sometimes I may come home from work and that's the long I will sit in the car 20 or 30 minutes and just
So that's self-care.
it's self-care for me. So when I go inside my home, I'm just like at peace. I'm at ease. So it's something I do something every day, journal, tea, something to reset my mind. Because that's why I tell people if you keep overwhelming your brain every single day, it's going to lead to a lot of stress. And that's not good for your body either, because that impacts your brain as well.
It does big time. And we'll find ourselves forced to
Mhm.
slow down. We'll find ourselves with pneumonia,
Yes.
a head cold, body aches, liver
Yes.
problems, kidney problems. Because
Hmm.
if that energy is not released from our body, that's that somatic thing. It'll get in our physical body. We'll feel that knee
Yes, it
pain.
will.
We will be slowed down. If we don't slow ourselves down, we will be
Yep.
slowed down. So yeah, and I love that. I feel like that was a challenge. Like do something with self-care every day. Yeah, that's the challenge. Do so. It
Hmm.
doesn't have to be something big and large. Something every day just to say, self. I'm just slowing down for a minute. I'm taking a break. And I like that you said not when you're overwhelmed, not when you're frazzled and your hair's sticking up all over the place and
Mm-hmm.
your eyes are bloodshot and you're about to lose it. Not when we're on the precipice, on the edge of falling over. Don't push me because I'm close to
Close to
the
the
edge.
edge.
Like we
Right.
shouldn't be there. Self-care is maintenance. That's what I'm hearing. When you
Yeah.
said that phrase, I'm like, self-care is maintenance. When we maintain our cars. Okay, we maintain this. We maintain our homes. We need to
Mm-hmm.
maintain this home, this temple every day.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep. All right. So, do you have any final resonating thoughts that you would like to share? If you, I don't know if you've written any books or any publications, but if you've written any books or anything that you would like to share and your contact information in case people want to reach out to you for coaching services.
Man, thank you. I thank you for letting me come on and share and just be in this conversation. I don't have any books yet. I want to release some ebooks and a physical book. I'm just pushing myself to do
Mm-hmm.
it. Like I need to do it, right? I have some things I want to talk about with trauma and boundaries and
Mm-hmm.
self-care and all that. So that'll be coming out hopefully soon. But online, you can find me at Lilac Calandra. It's Lilac Calandra. That's a combination of my favorite color and my middle name. I'm Lala Calandra everywhere. On Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok. Like I'm Lala Calandra everywhere. And then my like for my own business, it's Selah mindset. Selah comes from the Bible. It tells us to pause and to rest. It's self-care. Selah is self-care. It tells us to take a break. So it's Selah Mindset CC, which is it's Selah Mindset Counseling Collective, but on all socials, it's Selah. That's SELAH Mindset CC. And that's how you can find me if you want to sign up for coaching services. I love doing groups. I love doing groups about boundaries. It's boundaries
Mm-hmm.
boot camp. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's just something that if you want to do that, let me know. We can start a group and it's good to heal in the group in that way. So we can start navigating through that guilt, through that shame of boundaries, which are but we have to have them to survive in life.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, thank you for coming on to the podcast today. It's been strategically named for a reason, the Empowering Minds
Mm-hmm.
Mental Health Podcast. So that's what you've done today. You've helped me to empower the minds of the listeners who are going to either listen or view this later
Mm-hmm.
on. And so thank you for helping me too with education and breaking stigmas around mental health and boundaries.
For sure. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
All right. Thank you. Nice meeting you. I'll be in contact with you soon.
Awesome.
All
Thanks.
right. Take care. Thank you.
You too.